The Bachelor recap: the ending to PeterWeber's dramatic season is finally revealed. PeterWeber's season has been teased as completely unpredictable, and during the March 10th finale, we finally got to see how it all plays out for him. Here's what went down. The March 10th finale of The Bachelor picks up with PeterWeber on the day of the final rose ceremony. Hannah Sluss is the only woman left after Madison Pruitt decided to leave during her final date with Peter. Despite his heartbreak over what happened with Madison, Peter is confident that he has found true love with Hannah. He meets with jeweler Neil Lane to pick out an engagement ring for Hannah and opts for a massive, pear-shaped sparkler. Before getting down on one knee, Peter FaceTimes with Hannah's father to get his blessing to propose, and Mr. Sluss happily approves. Meanwhile, Hannah is beginning to have some worries about where she stands with Peter. He admitted to having his heart pulled in two different directions on their last date, and she fears that he's not 100% sure that he wants to be with her. When Peter arrives at the final rose ceremony, Chris Harrison lets him know that he's not sure if Hannah is going to show up, which, of course, completely stresses Peter out. Eventually, Hannah does show up, looking absolutely stunning in a white gown. At this point, Hannah has no idea Madison has gone home, so she's still unsure about where she stands. Finally, Peter tells Hannah that he's in love with her, and he proposes with the Neil Lane ring. She gladly accepts, and they couldn't be happier. After the proposal, Peter reunites with his parents, Barbara and Peter Sr., and brother, Jack, to give them the news. They pushed Peter to pick Hannah, so they're obviously thrilled to hear who Peter's new fiancée is. Unfortunately, the happiness does not last long. Next, we see Hannah paying Peter a visit in Los Angeles after a month apart. Things are clearly awkward and tense between them. They acknowledge that things have been hard, and Peter admits that part of his heart is still with Madison. Hannah cannot accept that Peter isn't able to reciprocate the love she's given him, and they end their relationship. Before they part ways, though, Hannah goes off on Peter for being selfish and taking away the experience of an engagement from her. After the footage airs, Peter appears live on after the final rose, where he comes face to face with Hannah. She calls him out for blindsiding her by only telling her that she was his last woman standing at the last minute. She explains that she has no idea what he went through with Madison when she said yes to the engagement, and that she would have known that his head wasn't in the right space to get engaged if she had. She also revealed that Peter told her he wanted to have one more conversation with another ex, Hannah Brown, to get closure, which blindsided her even further. At the end of their talk, Hannah urged Peter to start being a real man if he ever wants to settle down with someone. Next, we see footage of Chris Harrison paying Madison a visit at her hometown. She admits to regretting how everything went down, and is shocked to hear the news that Peter ended his engagement. Chris tells Madison that, in Peter's dream world, he would be with her. She's ready to give it a second chance, and flies to LA to reunite with Peter. They reunite and admit to never falling out of love with each other. They have not seen each other in person since that conversation took place, but Peter admits on after the final rose that he's still in love with Madison. She joins him on stage so they can discuss things further. Both Peter and Madison explain that they still love each other, and Peter says that they're going to take things one day at a time in their relationship. Then, Peter's mom, Barbara Weber, gets to speak her piece about what went wrong when they met Madison in Australia. She explains that Madison made them wait 3 hours when they were supposed to meet in Australia, so things really got off on the wrong foot, especially when Madison didn't apologize for being late. Barbara stands by the fact that she did not have a connection with Madison, which is why she felt so much stronger about Hannah. At the end of the day, it is what it is, Madison responds. You can't change the past. There's a lot that's out of my control. I came into this journey and said I was going to be unashamed of who I am, and that's something I've done. I know I have love and respect for Peter, therefore, I have love and respect for Peter's family, and I will never say another negative word about anyone or anything. Things are clearly still tense between Barbara and Madison, though. Barbara tells Madison off for not being willing to compromise with Peter, and she also warns Peter that he's going to fail in order to succeed in this relationship. Peter once again insists to his parents that he's in love with Madison and that they'll have to accept it, but there's clearly still an issue, and this is clearly going to take some time for the family to work through.